Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. The case that I'm going to be looking into today is a horrific case involving a child death, so I just want to put a warning here just to let you know that obviously if these cases are for you, because they are just so tragic with children, they always are. Click off this video now because that is what we are going to be talking about today. It is the case of Samantha Runnion, and I apologise if I've said the surname wrong. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it, to be honest. Samantha Bree Runnion was born on the 26th of July in 1996 to parents Derek and Erin. She was born in Boston in Massachusetts. At the time of her murder, she was 5 years old. She lived in an apartment complex in Stanton, which is in Orange County, California. Now, she was a fun-loving, beautiful little girl. I mean, she just loved to dress up as princesses. She was very entertaining. She would entertain her family with tap dancing and dressing up, and she really enjoyed the smell of sunflowers. Honestly, she was just such a beautiful, fun little girl that loved to put on shows for her family and entertain them. Maybe if she got the chance, that is what she would want to do when she got older, but that chance was never afforded to her. Now we're going to jump to the 15th of July in 2002. Samantha had spent the day with her grandparents, and at this point in time, it was 11 days from her 6th birthday. You know, so it was just shy of 2 weeks until her 6th birthday. She was really excited about that and was looking forward to it. But on this day in particular, she had spent it with her grandparents. I believe that she'd had ice cream with them and things like that. And I think her parents were actually working at the time, so her grandparents would look after her a lot because her parents were in work, and that is what was, you know, the case this day. So she goes out, she spends it with her, like I said, her grandparents. She had ice cream on the pier with them. You know, it was such a warm, beautiful day, and they just really, really enjoyed it. When they returned home, Samantha wanted to go outside and play. It was about 6:30 p.m, I believe, at that point. And again, it was a lovely day, so her grandparents let her. She was just going to be outside. It appears that Samantha actually was playing out with another little girl who was 6 years old. She was called Sarah, and they were just having fun playing in the garden. The two girls really loved playing together, and, you know, they would spend as much time as they could playing together. Like kids do, you know, she was 5, come on. That all changed though when they heard a car pulling up beside them. They stopped playing to look at this car, and Sarah apparently had actually spotted it a few minutes before it stopped, so she saw it coming. She said that it was a green car. It went sort of past them, then it went around the block, turned around, well, not turned around, if it's gone around the block it's gone in a circle, I guess, and then stopped beside them. A man then proceeded to get out of the car, and he approached the little girls and asked them if they had seen his puppy. So Samantha put up her hands to ask what kind of size the puppy was, and he said that it was a small one. It was a Chihuahua. Literally split seconds later, he moves towards Samantha and he grabs her. He starts dragging her towards his car. Samantha's kicking, screaming. Sarah is bearing witness to this, obviously, and Samantha was struggling. She was kicking him. She was just trying to get away from him, but she was 5 and he was a grown man. So she was shouting at Sarah for help and told her to go and get her grandmother and tell her what was happening. And he got Samantha into the car and he drove away. Sarah ran home. She told her own mother what had happened. Obviously, then Samantha's family was informed as to what happened, grandparents, things like that. The police were informed straight away. They were on it. It was all done within a small time frame because obviously with these kinds of cases, you know that time is of the essence. The longer it is, the more in danger the child is. So you have to get off the bat, you have to get out there looking and just trying to put the information out there in case anyone has seen them. Erin obviously was informed. She came home. She ended up speaking to the media outside on her lawn, begging for the person that had taken her daughter to bring her back, and pleading with anyone that could help her find her if obviously that wasn't the case that he was going to bring her back. Which it usually isn't, let's face it. They literally go out and kidnap a kid. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to bring them back. It normally doesn't happen, as sad as it is. Sarah, again, was a witness to everything, so she gave a good description of the man, a good description of the car, and a sketch was created of this man from that. Sarah said that he looked like a Hispanic male with slicked back black hair, and he also had this moustache. Now, they believe that he was either driving a green Honda or an Acura, from what I could find. And they would search for Samantha everywhere, and it went on during the night. They really did look for her, but at that point, I mean, she was long gone, unfortunately. And despite their best efforts of trying to find her, the next day, which was the 16th, a man called the police to say that he had found a naked little girl's body. It was on rural Highway 14 in a place called Riverside, which was 55 miles away from where Samantha was abducted. The police obviously went out there straight away, and they quickly identified that this body was sadly that of Samantha's. Her body was badly bruised. She had been sexually assaulted and then suffocated. It's believed that he actually kept her alive for a few hours before, obviously, he took her life. And they think that she was murdered between sort of 8 p.m. on the 15th up until 2 a.m. on the 16th, so it was between that time frame. This was now a murder investigation. It was no longer just a kidnapping. So the police really did everything that they could to try and find out who had done this to Samantha. She was a little girl, and somebody had sexually kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and then murdered her. And it is so horrific. She was playing outside with a friend, and he took her in broad daylight with her friend as the witness, and he just snatched her into his car. And it is just so heartbreaking and frustrating that he even had the audacity to do that in front of people. But it's just, above all, it's just absolutely devastating and sickening. So yeah, the police were straight away telling the media that they were going to find him because he apparently left a lot of DNA on her body. So, you know, they knew that it would only be a matter of time. And they were quick to tell the public that as well. They weren't hiding anything like that. Police went ahead and set up a tip line for any information that anybody had. And this is when they found information on one Alexandro Avila. He was a 27-year-old man who fit the description that Sarah provided to the police. And when questioned by the police, he obviously denied any involvement. He said that he was actually at the mall, so he wasn't anywhere near her at the time. It couldn't possibly have been him. So they did a bit of digging. They found that he had been previously done for sexually assaulting a child. That was in 2001, but he was acquitted of those charges. The police found out that on the 15th, Alejandro was supposed to cook dinner for his family at about 6 p.m. They lived in an apartment complex in Lake Elsinore, and he never ended up cooking dinner for his family. Instead, he goes out to an ATM about 5:20. He collects some money. Then later on at 9 p.m, he checks into a hotel. So, you know, he's lying. He wasn't at the mall. He wasn't cooking dinner for his family. He was at a hotel. 3 days after Samantha's body was found, on the 19th of July, Alejandro was actually arrested and he was charged with Samantha's murder. They actually found DNA, obviously, on her body. It matched to Alejandro. They found his DNA in her fingernails and her DNA in his car. Alejandro denied having anything to do with her murder. He said that he didn't do it, he wasn't even in the area, yada yada yada. The prosecution decided that they was going to try and seek the death penalty for him. The trial went ahead. After 9 hours of deliberation, a decision came back to say that he was in fact guilty of Samantha Runnion's murder. His sister at the trial gave evidence on her brother, basically, to say that after he had been acquitted of the first charges that he got of child molestation, he then came out with, after watching some Double Jeopardy show, oh no, it was a film, sorry, that he actually said to her, I could do anything I want to that little girl and I can never be charged for it because of Double Jeopardy, which is just disgusting. I mean, you can see where his frame of mind on that is already. She also went ahead and gave evidence that Alejandro was familiar with the area in which Samantha's body was found, and that she'd actually gone to that area with him previously to watch meteor shower. They also found that he had printed out some horrible things on children and adults the day that Samantha went missing. They found a lot of evidence, and the DNA and everything else. They knew the area. It was just clear that it was him, basically, even though he just denied everything. It was said that after his sort of getting away with the first child molestation case, he felt like he could basically do anything. I believe I've read somewhere that his plan was to actually kill and leave no witnesses. But Samantha was kicking, screaming, you know, she didn't go down without a fight, let's just say that. And I guess it kind of threw him off. He didn't really expect that, even though she was just 5 years old. She fiercely fought him. And his plan didn't work, so that's when he took her off somewhere, and, well, he still ended up murdering her, which is absolutely devastating. But his initial plan, what he had figured out, you know, it didn't work because Samantha was so fierce in fighting him. After her daughter's murder, Erin founded the Joyful Child Foundation, and it was in memory of Samantha. It's an organisation dedicated to preventing crimes against children through programs that empower, educate and unite families and communities. So it's a really good foundation to come from all of this heartbreak. Obviously it was too late for Samantha, but hopefully it could help, you know, other children in the future, so that families don't have to go through such a horrific thing that her family had to go through and that Samantha had to go through. This case is devastating. I just can't understand how you can just take someone in broad daylight, a little girl, right in front of a friend, and then ended up murdering her. Honestly, it's awful. But yeah, that is the end of the case. If you guys have enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for similar content. That's all I have today on the case of Samantha Runnion. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.